Peace, diehards. Welcome to another episode of the Dire Knicks podcast. It's your boy, Ewood Anystar. As you can see at the bottom, we're doing Kristaps trade revisited, man. Today is actually the anniversary. Sorry about that, guys. My bad, guys. This is live stuff, man. So I had another window popped up here. So anyway, like I said, we're doing Kristaps trades revisited. Today is actually the anniversary of that trade. So we're just gonna get into it, man. Once again, sorry for the technical difficulties. Once again, this is live stuff. This is also Dynix podcast, without a doubt. Let's get it started. Kristaps, man. So how crazy like a what is this like a year or two makes now? Let's just pull up the actual original trade, man. This was the actual original trade. We traded Dennis Smith, we traded Kristaps, Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey Burke, and Courtney Lee. And we got back Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, Wesley Matthews, two future first round picks. And that's a trade there. At the time, people were like, yo, how could you get rid of your franchise player? You drafted this guy. We weren't able to get a player like this in so long. He was the unicorn, all the branding and stuff that you want to talk about, whatever. But we ended up trading him, or whatever. There was press out there saying that the Knicks did it in like 15 minutes. There was stuff that Phil Jackson screwed that up and this, that, and the other. But when it comes down to it, there's a lot of parallels between what was happening with the Knicks at the time and what's happening with the current Dallas Mavericks. So let's get into this, right? So like Luka Doncic, he was asked a question about how they're playing, and he kind of just broke down, man. So let's just check out my man here. He looks like a wet cat, you know. But Knicks fans know exactly what this is all about here because we've been through it so many years. This feeling, I never even seen Melo get this low when he talked about the woes of the Knicks and stuff. Because I think with Melo more than anything, he thought that he was doing the most that he could to help the Knicks win. So he didn't really get the whole team thing or why the team. He's like, yo, they're not playing good, but I am. And it's all about the front office not doing what they're supposed to do. But let's just watch what Luka had to say. Now let me start this over really quick because I want to make sure that you guys can hear what he's saying here. 'Cause like I said, once again, this is live stuff, and just making sure the stuff is queued up properly. So let's share that again. Uh, Make sure I share that audio so you guys can hear what he was saying. All right, let's try it. Let's try it again, right from the top.
Evaluate y'all's play and effort tonight.
Terrible.
Can you elaborate?
There's really not much to say. I never felt like this, and we gotta do something because this is not looking good, and we gotta step up and just talk to each other and play way better than this. It's mostly effort.
Timmy, man.
Luke, I think you might have just touched on this at the end there, but what are the things that need to change for you guys to play, at the level you expect to play?
I mean, I would say like right now it's looking like we don't care honestly if we win games or not, but it's gotta have more energy, more effort. Die for every ball, box out, everything. There's a lot of things that we can improve, and I know we will. And that's all that matters there.
Evaluate.
Yeah, so that's Luka Doncic from the horse's mouth. There, he sounds like a guy that's defeated. Now, when you want to talk about like the Knicks or whatever, effort and stuff like that, we want to talk about. Our teams that we have some of the same players. You're talking about Tim Hardaway Jr., Trey Burke, and some of these guys that we have up, especially their roster too. I'm gonna pull up Dallas's roster and just take a look at the players that they have because they don't really have like any like all-star kind of players outside of Luka. And they put all their chips in one basket for Kristaps, and Kristaps is just not available because he's constantly hurt, man. So I'm gonna do the same thing like I did there. I'm gonna just share the screen just so I can show you guys, the stats for this current team with the Dallas Mavericks. Like I said, they don't have any stars on that team. It's just Luka by himself and Kristaps. So now a lot of fans and media and stuff like that, they talk about how they want the Knicks to spend their money. How come they didn't spend their money? How come they didn't do this, that, and the other? But here's the reason, man. You put all your money into one guy, hoping that he's going to be carry you somewhere. And if he gets hurt, now you're screwed because you'd paid a guy $30-something million. And now Luka's all by himself. Luka's always hurt too. I got the feeling that Luka's actually hurt as well, but he just a gangster and he just wants to play. So he's been playing through a lot of stuff. Ankle injuries and knee stuff, back injuries and stuff. He's playing through stuff because he wants his team to win. So let's just look at it. They got Josh Richardson this year. He's basically like a role player. He's averaging 11 points a game. He averaged a little bit more when he was in Miami. Tim Hardaway Jr. is giving them 16. Excuse me. You got Kristaps was giving him 18, whatever. But I mean, he only played 9 games on the season, and he's currently going back and forth with the injury protocol stuff, where they're giving them, days off on back-to-backs and, giving them minutes restrictions and stuff like that. The next person down the line that's even giving him any kind of points is Jalen Brunson, Trey Burke. These guys all play the same position. Same thing with Tim Hardaway Jr. and Josh Smith. They all play the same position. Some of these other guys that's been getting minutes for them. You want to talk about Dorian Finney-Smith. He's another role player. He's like one of those guys that the Knicks used to have. Kind of like undersized kind of guy. They can't really shoot, can't really do nothing, but they got him out there to play defense and mix it up and stuff. Max Kleber, same thing. Max might shoot some threes, though. All these guys shoot threes in the NBA nowadays. This doesn't mean they're 3-point shooters. Finney shoots 32%, for instance. But he puts up 5 a game. So this NBA is so whack, man. Keep going down the line. James Johnson, that's a little grunt kind of player. Some guy that he should be way better than he is, but he's more worried about getting his next tattoo than anything. Willie Cauley-Stein, he kind of falls under that same boat. Then you got Dwight Powell, Iwundu, whatever, Josh Green. All these different guys are all the same player. There's not one impact player on this team that outside of Luka and Kristaps. So I mean, like, it's nice to say that you hope these guys start playing, better, start playing harder, or start playing to win and stuff. But you just don't have the players. Compared that roster to the Knicks roster, the only thing that's missing is Luka. We don't have Luka. And what's the name? Randall's doing his best Luka impersonation at the moment. We got RJ Barrett. We got a couple guys that we actually playing defense, And also too, if you want to look at it, we also had a hard schedule this year. We went out west. A lot of our games were on the road. We're starting to approach the stretch now where we're going to be at home a lot. So hopefully we can start getting some more wins and stuff. But I mean, it doesn't look good for Dallas, man. And outside of that, when I talked about at the top of the show that with this trade package that we got, the thing that sticks out that's going to make this trade a winner for the Knicks is these 2 future first round draft picks. Now, what's going to happen with that? We can end up just going into the draft and just dealing with that, because we could end up getting some good players, or we can end up getting some more guys that's going to sit on the bench and do nothing, just like the guys that are on Dallas right now, and just like some of the guys that we have now. We can't. There's a possibility we can draft another Kevin Knox that's not going to do nothing for us. Another Frank Ntilikina is another guy that we drafted that could possibly do nothing for us. The chances of getting an RJ Barrett or something like that, it's okay, but it's still, to me, it's still 50-50, man. Look at Emmanuel quickly down to 25. We can get a high impact player in the low part of the draft as well, and we can also end up trading for a end of the first round kind of player. If there's somebody that we're looking at, even second round picks, it's proven that we were able to move around in the draft so easily last all season. So why can't we do it again? So like the thing with those picks, we can end up taking those picks and moving them, for Bradley Beal. That's a hot topic there, man. That's another podcast for another day. But I also wanted to just touch on the whole Kristaps factor. Kristaps coming into the league, he came into a situation where Melo was the man. So the whole backstory with that is that everyone was saying that he doesn't have to worry about being the man and that type of thing because Melo's there to take the front. But at the same time, if you look at that time frame when the Knicks were had Kristaps, we didn't exactly win games. We didn't exactly win any games with Melo and Kristaps. So whose fault is that? Is like Kristaps, according to the narrative, they blamed it on the Knicks, the fact that the Knicks are not doing the best that they can to make the roster better. So it's so funny now that He made his money. Now he's in Dallas, and him and Luka, they were laughing and joking how funny it was that they're on the Knicks and stuff, and now they're in a better situation. But now look, you're hurt and stuff like that, and now you're in a situation just like the Knicks, where Luka now is like basically Melo, but maybe a better version of Melo, because Luka is more of like a team oriented kind of guy, and Melo was just kind of really just one man show. But it's just crazy how that goes, man. So it's really, you got to be careful with what you're doing when you make these accusations to the club. The club is not doing nothing. These players, they have a responsibility to the roster to give all that they can, whatever, and just let the front office do what they do. Now, I understand you have to look out to what's in your best interest, but look at the Knicks now. The hindsight is 2020. You didn't know that the Knicks were going to revamp the whole front office or whatever. So if he was to keep Kristaps, pay him the money that he got, whatever, with this current front office, they might have put the roster in a better position for him to succeed, especially after drafting RJ and some of these other guys right after he left. The second season, who's to know what we would have done? Who would have attracted with this current regime? So I feel I don't really feel sorry for Kristaps, but but it's just unfortunate, how they had to go through that. But I really don't feel sorry, because we've been through it all as a fan base, man. So I just want to put it out there that in the beginning, all the guys are talking heads, whatever. If you just do a quick YouTube search, just put Kristaps trade, nothing comes up about what's happening now, or just Kristaps news or whatever. You might have a couple little blips and stuff, but nobody's really talking about it as hard as they were talking about it at the time when the trade went down. So I just think it's disgusting and whatever. And then leading up to how it is now with the Knicks current roster, have we gotten better? We went and signed a guy that's actually putting up better numbers than Kristaps and Julius Randle. Like I said, we went and got RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett looks like he's going to be the real deal going forward. We ended up getting Emmanuel quickly. We got Mitchell Robinson at center. So where does Kristaps fit in all this? Because it's very possible with the front office that we built that we probably would have ended up drafting quickly anyway, because that was already rumored, that we were attached to him from the beginning. As soon as we got Kenny Payne and these guys, that we were already looking at Emmanuel quickly as our draft pick, the guy that we got for Morris, in the Morris trade. So we already had that lined up. So who's to say that if we had Kristaps, that would we be in the similar situation or whatever? Would he have gotten hurt, over there if we were taking better care of him over here and with the Knicks? It's just bugged out, man. It's a whole bugged out things. Like I said, it's hindsight. It's 2020. The grass is green and all that, whatever cliche that you want to say, man. So, I'm happy to be a Knicks fan. I'm happy to be in our situation now, and that is what it is, man. Right now, I got guys on Instagram. So for those that are on Instagram, I can't see what you guys are doing over there, but I hope you guys can hear the show and you can enjoy it over there. So let's just see who's over here. Hilton Murray's here. Luka has been winning for a long time. He has been winning for a long time, man. But yeah, and with that said, right now it's very hard for him to deal with the situation. And they don't have any assets to trade. They gave us all their current draft picks. They're gonna have to give their super future draft picks in order to get any kind of movement. But who are they trading? They don't have any players in particular to trade outside of these little fringe role players. If you want to talk about Brunson and some of these guys, they're comparable to guys like Frank Ntilikina or Knox and stuff like that. Guys with potential. If they got minutes on another team, maybe they might do better. DSJ is very comparable to some of these guys, the same guy that we traded in that Kristaps trade, saying? So, when you look at Dallas, the way that they would get like somebody like over us is for the simple fact that the teams are just hating on us. Right now, the Knicks we have cap space. No other team really has cap space like us. We have $17 million in the stash right now. We got all our draft picks plus Dallas's 2 draft picks. And, we got a bunch of young guys. We got DSJ. Everyone knows the potential of DSJ. He's already scored 15 points a game in this league. They already know what he is. Kevin Knox, somebody might want to take a flyer on him, that they might be able to untap him in another environment. You got Frank Ntilikina, that's respected around the league about being a defender, international player and stuff like that. So the Knicks have pieces that we can actually improve the roster. So it's just funny how time changes now. The Knicks weren't doing anything to get better. I don't think I'm going to succeed here. I want to bring my whatever my big brother's going to come here and he wants to take part of the organization. Whatever other nonsense that we won't know until later on, until somebody writes a book or something like that. It's just funny how that goes. We got UBG is here hanging out with me. We got Aaron R. Is that my girl there? That's my girl Aaron from Twitter. I'm checking out here. Karma's a bitch, man. And I can hear your voice saying it too, man. Karma is a bitch. Right now, the Knicks are doing good. Our records are very similar, but when it comes to the East and West, the East is just so bad right now that being the record that we are, even though we lost today, we're still on the bottom of this playoff run, and we're still going to get into that 10th seed or so that we could possibly push into the playoffs. And one point I also want to make too, like right after this Clippers game, they interviewed a couple of these guys that they really want to get their opinion on quickly. So everybody gave quickly a round of applause. They was very happy for him, excited. Whatever they were saying that he is fearless and whatever. But they also chimed in and said the Knicks look like they're actually doing something over there. The guys are playing hard. They're playing defense. Got Julius Randle going over there. So they got something. That's not what I said. That's what some of these other guys were saying. You want to talk about Paul George and Lou Williams and some of the other guys, fringe players that they have on their team. They all had those things to say, and they weren't asked about the Knicks per se. They were just asking about quickly. But the seed is already planted by what the Knicks want to do, changing the not necessarily culture around the team, but it's the culture outside the team, the way that the NBA looks at us. Right now, everyone's looking at the Knicks, knowing that they gotta play well because the Knicks are a good team now. They come out there, they might not have the same talent, matchable talent that the other teams do. We have a lot of holes on the roster, but we do have a lot of positives, and we are playing the same exact way every single game. If you look at all the shot charts for every single game, they're almost carbon copy. We're getting the shots that we want, and we're letting other teams get shots that we want them to take. So a lot of times when we blow teams out, is because we got them shooting our shots and we just threw them off and stood our will defensively, and we're kind of just running a game. The games are low scoring games, that type of thing. Once the pace gets pushed a little bit too far, that's when the Knicks start to lose games, just like this Clippers game. In the beginning of the game, we took them by surprise, and we basically was beating them for the first 2.5 quarters, and then the second half of the game, they went on a little run, got a boost, and then they just had the superstars like Kawhi and stuff that are known for just getting the ball. And they basically went 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 2-on-5 on us, so we couldn't really do nothing about that. So, but at least we got their respect, man. So, I know we used to joke about that back in the days of how, yeah, man, I know we lost, but at least we play hard. Right now that really makes a difference because the NBA is really talking about us, man. What else? We got Hilton Murray still here hanging out with us. Knicks Community Podcast, Mr. Aiden is with us. I am kind of late today, like 10:36. So, I just kind of threw up on here. He's talking about Randall. Randall, he might be an all-star outside of the dude that's in Indiana, and maybe like a couple other guys, as a forward. Julius Randle's kind of sitting right there. So when it comes down to like record and stuff like that, Indiana is not really doing so much better than us right now. We're all kind of in the same boat. So Julius Randle might end up being an all-star because he's basically carrying the team. So that's cool. This is what we got here. Knicks fan for life on IG. What's good? Saying what's up. We got Simba Singh here. Salute. What's up, man? Joe Madden is here. Joe Madden is all over the place, man. All over the internet, man. So shout out to you, Joe Madden. I gotta try to get up with you and Freezy and those guys, man. But I know they're gonna go on maybe like 11:45, and that I can't do it, man. You guys, those guys be on for 4 hours at night and then 4 hours in the morning. So anyway, man, this is just the Kristaps trade stuff, man. I just want to come out here and just be like one of the first people to really talk about that, because I didn't really see anybody really going crazy, man. It's funny how like whatever it is, like 2 years goes here. It's a very key point in our rebuild. When we look back at it, when the books are written and stuff, when we look back at it, we're gonna look at this time. It's like, at the time we were mad, but looking back when history tells the story, we're gonna really know that what happened, man. Because those two picks can end up being somebody like a Cade, if we're lucky, or they might end up being flipped for somebody like Bradley Beal, man. So tune in for that, man. It's an exciting time to be a Knicks fan, and it is what it is, man. This is your boy Eru. Got another straggling comment here. Mr. Aiden is still here. Those on RJ will be an all-star next year. Been hearing talk about. Yeah, man. I mean, right now with the way he's playing, he's averaging like 20 something. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting off the charts with like 50, 40, almost 50, 40, and 90 right now during this little 80 something, I want to say, during this little piece of time here. I want to say like the last 6 or so games. So I mean, RJ's here. In the beginning of the season, it was kind of premature of people throwing him under the bus and stuff. But the guy's here now, man. The young guy, he's ready to show guys what he can do now. And between now and next year, we might see like a graduation from being this type of player to like a Paul Pierce. Like I use these different names, Paul Pierce and whatever else. But if you look at Paul Pierce's career, his first 2 seasons were okay before he really bust off, pause, before he really jumped on the scene in his 3rd season. I think he averaged like 14 his first season, maybe 18 the second one, and then 25, after that he started going crazy. So I mean, RJ Barrett's on that pace to get that. You want to talk about other guys too. Paul George was the same situation. Even Kawhi is in that same situation. He didn't really start averaging a lot of points until he left San Antonio. So RJ is on that pace, man. So I think between now and next year, he's really gonna make his name known in this NBA as all-stars. And like, look at his peers from his draft class. There's not really anybody doing nothing crazy. Maybe Shea Alexander or some of these other guys, that are out there. There's not really a lot of dudes. So in the East, especially. So RJ Barrett's spot is going to be solidified as the years go on, man. So right now, like I said, it's a very important time for the Knicks. We got to get another player, I think, this during the season, and then we can take it into the off season where teams are going to be like, oh snap, the Knicks are good. I want to get down with that, because if the Knicks make the playoffs and fans get back in the seats in this type of thing, the roof is going to get blown off, and we're going to live on in infamy. So shout out to Kristaps, man. You fucked that up. Anyway, speaking of that, this Evil to Any Star. Sorry for the little technical difficulties, man. This is the internet age, and things happen, live shows, and it is what it is, man. Shout out to everybody on Sportscasters. Shout out to everybody on Instagram. So anyway, I'm out. Eru's out. See you guys on the next one. Thank you for supporting, man. That's number one. All right, peace.